Well, the movie Straight Outta Compton went straight to the top again at the box office this weekend.
It sure did, but there was no escape for another film that took audiences on a thriller. Here's our movie reviewer, Matt Perrone.
Welcome to another Monday. The box office has officially had its worst weekend of the year. There were several new releases this weekend, but I had no urge to see Zac Efron becoming a DJ. Pat Robertson kept telling me to go see The War Room, but I really couldn't resist the temptation of seeing Owen Wilson team up with an ex-James Bond in a serious thriller. So here's my take on No Escape. Our movie begins with Jack Dwyer, played by Owen Wilson, moving his family to Third World Asia to manage his company's water treatment plant. His wife and two daughters seem skeptical but are willing to give it a go. Sharing a ride to their hotel, they meet Hammond, a British tourist who seems to know the lay of the land, played by Pierce Brosnan. As they arrive at their hotel, they learn some of the differences of this country, having no access to television, phone, or internet, and some doubts begin to emerge. The next morning, going out to buy a paper, Jack finds himself in the middle of a rebellious coup dispatching the police. Managing to make it back to the hotel, he witnesses the rebels executing foreigners at will. He makes it to his family, and they realize that there will be no bargaining. They must escape. They manage to make their way to the roof, where many of the country's visitors have barricaded themselves. From here on out, everything goes from bad to worse. They learn that the Prime Minister has been assassinated, and the rebels blame the foreigners for taking their jobs and basically enslaving them. As the movie progresses, we see Jack do everything in his power to try to get his family to safety at the American Embassy. Of course, those odds seem insurmountable when an entire country is looking for blood. Non-stop action and suspense keep you cringing throughout the entire ordeal. It shows us what lengths man will go to protect the ones he loves. We also get to see glimpses of humanity in the most inhuman circumstances possible. As suspected beforehand, Hammond reappears and plays a key role in helping the family, along with himself, avoid the murderous rage of the locals. You truly find yourself with your hand clamped over your mouth or gripping the armrests as tight as you can until the final minutes of the film. It is definitely a thrill ride the whole way through that will make you question international travel for a while to come. So this was one of those weeks that I kept looking at what was opening, hoping that the next time I looked, something else would appear. So needless to say, I was less than thrilled walking into the theater. I mean, Pierce Brosnan is always good for some action and suspense, but I couldn't picture Owen Wilson being a threat to anyone, let alone even being serious in a role. But as it turns out, he does a pretty good job at it. That being said, the movie is very hard to watch at times. It definitely earns its R rating for the brutality of the violence throughout. As suspenseful and as much of a thriller as the film is, what really gets you is afterwards, when you start thinking, what would I do in that same situation? Like I said, it definitely makes you question going sightseeing in a third world nation anytime soon. It was definitely a better movie than I expected, but I think it's a one and done. I mean, I'm glad I saw it, but I don't see myself in a few months running out to the store to buy it and add it to my collection. This has been your Monday Movie Musing. Back to you.
Look at some of those images. It definitely looks like it takes you on a roller coaster ride.
Very surprising, yeah.
Well, still ahead, you have one last look at your 7-day forecast.
It's all next on ABC Columbia News at 12:30, live from Main and Gervais.